In this lesson, we're going to be talking about POP3. Now, POP3 is a mail retrieval protocol, and we've talked about SMTP, which is how we get messages to other people. Now, if somebody sends a message to us, then we need to be able to retrieve it. So let's just do a quick message here to myself, and I'm going to do aloblah.com, mail from me at me.com, rcpt2 rick at localhost, and now I'm going to say data to from me at me.com, date today, subject, how are you? And now I can say, hi, this is me, how are you doing? Now I've queued that message, I can quit, and now I can get into my mail server to retrieve the message. For POP3, we've got 110 as the TCP port that we're going to connect to. So I've connected to port 110 on TCP, and I've got an OK message, and that says you're OK to continue. So now I'm going to log in. My username is Rick, and my password, and the request here is just pass. So I'm going to give it my password. It's going to say OK, meaning I've passed authentication at this point. So that's the first thing that I need to do for the POP3 protocol is I need to authenticate so the server knows who I am and what mailbox to point me to. Now I can do a list, and I see I've got 2 messages, so I want to retrieve message 2. You can see all of the message headers. It was delivered to me at localhost, received from, and here's of course all of the information that I put in. And then the mail server added a message ID, and there's the actual message. So now what I can do is I can delete 2. Now if I do a list, you can see there's just 1 message there, and I could actually delete that one as well. Now if I do a list, I'm not actually going to see any messages. So POP3 is a pretty simple protocol. You'll see when you're using POP3 clients that you have things like whether you want to keep messages on the server or not, and that really has to do with whether it does a delete after it retrieves the message. If you say you don't want to leave messages on the server, it's actually going to delete all of the messages. It does keep track of the message index, so if you are keeping messages on the server, then we know what messages we have looked at based on this index right here. So the index is really just the message number. The message number and the message IDs as well give us kind of where we are within the list of messages that are on the server. We've got this list of messages that we can manipulate as we need to, whether we delete them, whether we just retrieve them and leave them there, or whether we retrieve and delete. Again, POP3, pretty simple protocol. You do the authentication, then you can list the messages that you've got. You can retrieve, you can of course retrieve in any order based on giving it the message index number here. That allows me to kind of skip through as I want to, and be able to take a look at whatever messages I want and leave some of the other ones alone. And then of course we can delete and list again. As I said, POP3, pretty simple, straightforward protocol. There are other message retrieval protocols, IMAP of course being the other big one. IMAP's really designed to store messages on the server itself. You can look at the messages, but IMAP's really designed to keep everything on the server, and we'll take a look at IMAP in a subsequent lesson. There are older versions of POP that you may run into very, very infrequently. There is a POP2, for example. POP3 is really the current version. It's the one you're going to see the vast majority of times when you connect to a POP server. But this is POP3 and how POP3 works.